Scott Bywood here, and one of the things I want to talk about today is why we don't succeed despite hard work. And I've often looked at because I've worked with probably thousands of business owners and entrepreneurs and that sort of thing over the years, and I've often thought what makes the difference? Like, why does one person succeed and one person flatlines and one person goes down? I've been thinking about this more and more recently. I've been listening to a guy called Jim Fortin in his podcast, and one of the things he talks about is identity. So if we don't have the identity of a successful person, like let's say you see yourself as a $50,000 a year person, or you see yourself as a 100,000 or a 200,000 or a $10 million a year person in terms of revenue, then the identity, the way we see ourselves, is actually controlling that. Now the issue is a lot of that is in our, let's say, in our unconscious mind, so to speak. So what tends to happen is, and I've had probably low-grade anxiety for 20 years. And one of the things I notice, and this really stemmed from me, is let's say something comes up, like an email comes through that I wasn't expecting or something like that. The body goes into instant fear, right? So it's being run unconsciously. So our identity in many ways is unconscious, and our fear is unconscious. So it's very difficult to actually control that. But what he talks about is, and I put this up on Facebook the other day, is when those fear emotions come up, it's like not grabbing onto the bus. You still feel them, but if you imagine a bus driving past you at 150 kilometers an hour, that's like fear. You can either let it go and you'll be okay. So you see the fear, you acknowledge the fear, and then you say, you know what, actually things aren't that bad. It's not all turning to crap. Let's say you got a negative email, or you got a letter from the tax office or something like that. I'm sure this will be fine, and you focus your attention on something else. So you're letting the bus pass. But what we can tend to do is we can tend to grab onto that bus, and then we get mangled, emotionally mangled as a result of that. So I've been playing around with using that as a process, with accepting that the fear is unconscious. It's coming up from our past and all of that sort of thing, and it almost triggers unconsciously that flight response, letting it pass, and then moving on. It's been working really well for me, and also shifting your identity and going, well, how can I see myself instead of a person like, let's say you see yourself as not being good with people. What if you saw yourself as being really good with people? Or instead of seeing yourself as a six-figure income earner, what about if you changed it and saw yourself as a seven-figure income earner? It doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight. Still means you've got to play the long game, but I seriously believe that identity and realizing that our fears are unconscious are two of our biggest superpowers in business and in marketing. Thanks for tuning in. If you've enjoyed this video, then hit the like button and leave a comment, and head across to scottbywood.com, where I share regular tips and strategies on how to maximize the return on investment from your marketing budget. I look forward to seeing you over there.